trying to get into a bit of a regular cadence with the lives. The last live we did was awesome. Had a lot of great questions. And we just want to do it again because a lot of the questions were about us and our travel so far. So we thought we'd do a bit of a live while a few people are jumping on. We'll give a bit of an update on what's been happening. So for the last week and a bit, we've been pretty busy. So we actually went to a place called Dermacot, which is in Sabah. So at the moment we're in Kota Kinabalu, and Dermacot is a jungle reserve. It's about 55,000 hectares, massive, and it's one of the few places in the world you can see things like pygmy elephants and orangutans and things like that. So we actually spent a week in the jungle, no reception, no phones.
It was amazing.
It was amazing. It was really good.
Here I am trying to sort out our Instagram live on my phone here.
But it was really good in the jungle. So we spent a week in the jungle there, got some really good video footage that we're going to turn into a video once we get through a bit of the backlog. Launched another video this week on the Sabah market, the Filipino market here. That was good as well. Mm-hmm. So anything else you can think of that's been happening this week?
No, once we got back, after Dermacot was amazing, but obviously a lot of logistics to get there. And then once we got back, obviously we'd been out in the jungle with no reception for quite a few days. So there was a lot to catch up on work-wise and school and just the normal life admin when you're literally in the middle of the jungle, especially since I had to go and do 2 loads of washing because we
literally ran out of clothes.
Didn't have any clothes. So yeah, it was a bit of life admin, really.
Yeah, no, it's like one thing that's, it's like spending a week somewhere without reception and everything is one thing, but because of the way we packed, we have 2 60-liter bags. We don't have many clothes. So we have about a week's worth of clothes. So if we don't,
we even had to go and buy Liam some more shorts because he had ripped 2 pairs of shorts in the past month. So we were like, we better go buy some more shorts, mate, because we're not going to make it through if you only have 4 pairs of shorts.
Yeah, 100%. So Kay, come in, have a nice day. In Malaysia with family. Yeah, 100%.
We always
do.
Yeah.
It was raining today, though, so we couldn't really do much in regards to being outside today. But
we watched the rain come in, and it was amazing.
It was amazing. So the way this works, guys, if you have any questions, just leave them in the chats. If you're watching on Instagram, leave it on the chat.
All the chats.
Leave it in the chat on YouTube if you're watching there, or on Facebook. And today's just basically getting to know us.
Yeah.
We picked up a lot of new subscribers on a lot of channels, and we're just here to answer those questions and, just chew the fat. So Devon's got the first question here, and that is, where are you guys? So we're actually in Sabah, which is East Malaysia, Borneo, in a place called Kota Kinabalu. You may know where that is, but there might be some people that don't. So Kota Kinabalu is the capital, or like the
biggest city
in the state of Sabah, and it's beautiful. It's like an ocean, backs onto the ocean, so there's lots of fish and seafood here, and then the jungle's just out of the city. So it's an amazing place. It's not that big, like I think it's like a couple of 100,000 people. Correct us if we're wrong.
400,000 or 500,000, I think we've heard.
Hi there, Fixer Upper. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, we're in Kota Kinabalu. We're here till the 31st of May, and then we're heading back to KL for a week. So we actually picked up a brand deal in KL with Hasbro, of Hasbro Malaysia, for the new Transformers movie. So we're going to.
You might have seen our post on Instagram the other day. That was paid partnership, and yeah, we're going to get to see all of the new Transformers stuff before anyone else does.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
We're going to this launch event for the new Transformers toy range, and then we got some tickets to the movies and stuff. So it was pretty cool. Yeah. So we're heading to KL for a week.
Yes.
So Kuala Lumpur, and then from there, who knows? We'll just have to see where the wind takes us. But so off to KL, and then we'll go to there. So Clint, do fish get thirsty? No, they don't. And I actually know the answer why. So I don't know if this is relevant, but I found out the other day why you can't put freshwater fish in salt water and saltwater fish in fresh water.
Oh, of course you did.
Yeah, I did. So they don't get thirsty, and this is why, because they actually absorb water through their skin. So if you have a freshwater fish and you put it in salt water, what happens is the salt water actually draws the fresh water out of the fish, and it actually dies of dehydration. And then the opposite happens if you have a saltwater fish and its water in its body is predominantly salt water, and you put it in fresh water, it will basically bloat to death. It will just be like bloat to death. So, so Clint's like, you're the person to actually answer that question. I'll subscribe to it. I would hope so, Clint.
Yeah.
I would hope so. I would hope you're subscribed already. But yeah, that's 100% why you can't put salt in freshwater fishes. And there's a bull shark, which is a shark that lives in salt water but actually can swim in fresh water, has the ability to get rid of the salt in its body through its gills. So it actually excretes salt, so it can live in fresh water for where saltwater fish can't. So there you go. So that's the answer to that question.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
So AG 17, Alham. I go to iCity Shah Alam. Actually, good place. Yeah. We've actually been. Yeah, we've actually been to Shah Alam. We went to Wet World.
Has a water park.
Yep, went to Wet World. It was really good. It was.
We loved it.
It was a nice local thing, water park, and it was cheap, and we had a great time. The kids had a great time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shah Alam's a beautiful place.
Lovely.
So Shah Alam's in the like Selangor, which is like the outskirts of KL. It's KL itself is a city, and then Selangor is like the outer, is like the territory sort of thing. I think that's.
And then there's like suburbs. We would cut from Australia. We would class them as suburbs, like Sabang Jaya, Petaling Jaya. They're suburbs to us of Selangor.
Oh, do you want to take that, babe?
Yeah.
Pauline might have to just skip out for a sec. Potentially. But while Pauline's just taking this call, we'll keep answering some questions here. So, which states in Malaysia have you not been to, and when will you visit them? So, the states we've been in have been Kuala Lumpur. I don't know if that's the state. Please my ignorance. Been to JB, so Johor Bahru, Penang, Perak, and then obviously Sarawak and Sabah. We haven't been to Malacca or anywhere like that. We will get there. One thing we really want to do is visit the eastern seaboard of Peninsular Malaysia, like Kelantan and places like that, because we've heard it's amazing. So we're going to make an effort to like maybe go through Thailand and back down the east coast back to KL. That's sort of the plan of attack. But yeah, we really want to go to East Malaysia, to the eastern seaboard of like the east coast of Malaysia. That would be really, really interesting. Fixer upper, interesting. Yep. Yeah. Look, I am a person that knows a lot about a little about a whole bunch of things. I love watching YouTube and I love learning. So yeah, you just come across these facts and. Yeah, and Clint would attest to this. He's my best mate. He will attest to this. So I just know random things, and I'm good to have it a quiz. So Devon, are you guys migrating from Australia to Malaysia? Yeah, well, that's the plan. Logistically, there's a few things to sort out. It's not as black and white as we thought it was going to be. We've been looking into the My Second Homes and the D Ratangu visas, and there's a lot of paperwork involved. So we're just navigating that at the moment. So our sort of plan of attack is, because they take like 7 months to 12 months to process and to get approved. So our actual plan is to go, like we've got another month and a half left on our current 3-month visa. So we're going to go at the end of that month and a half, and then we're going to go see the rest of Southeast Asia. And while our visas are processing for Malaysia, we're going to end up using Malaysia as our home base, and then just find a long-term rental here. That's sort of the plan at the moment. That could change, but we love Malaysia. Place is beautiful, the people are beautiful, and that's sort of what we're thinking. Then Harry, thank you for tuning in, my friends. Everything okay?
Yeah.
Yep, all good.
Yeah, your mum's been dropped back off, so we're all good.
Okay, cool. So have you been to the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia, the states of Kelantan, Terengganu, and Pahang? No, we will though.
We want to get there. We just have not organised it yet.
Yeah,
we have found out that it's really, really hard to research and organise and book, and it just takes so much of our time at the moment to do that. So, we're going back to KL for 7 days, and then we haven't really decided. We think we're going to the Philippines, but we could end up anywhere. That's what our life is like at the moment.
East Coast, we've had so many of you tell us how awesome it is over there. We're going to go, and it just depends on whether it's now or in like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
But we're definitely going to go down the East Coast, and you're right, it is underrated, and it is hard to find information about it. So we're going to change that. We're going to make a lot of videos along the way, give people some ideas on things to see and do, like we've been doing on the YouTube channel. And just to make sure that people really get, because look, everyone comes to Malaysia, they go to KL and they go to Penang.
Yeah, and
right?
Langkawi sometimes.
And Langkawi sometimes. They miss out on all these other places, Ipoh, like Kelantan, like all these other beautiful places in Malaysia. The Borneo, it's beautiful here, and it's really sad.
And I just want to say, if anyone has any recommendations of accommodation, we would love to hear it for the East Coast, because I was doing some research the other day and found it really hard to find decent budget-friendly accommodation, because we are on a budget. So it was quite hard in the cities that I did look. Whether it's just the dates that I'm looking for, I don't know. But any recommendations would be great. We kind of look for a 2-bedroom apartment, because that's obviously 4 of us. But yeah, recommendations always welcome.
Yeah, 100%. So these 3 states are the most underrated. Yep, I agree. We don't hear much about it in the circles of people we see when we're traveling, but then everyone that's from Malaysia is saying go and see it. So we will make an effort to go.
Not sure when, but we will be going there. Yes.
And then Devon, Cameron Highlands is a good place to visit too, especially for kids. Used to have strawberry picking. Not sure if it's still available. We actually went to Cameron Highlands. Yeah, it's really nice. It's really cold up there. That was that
was the takeaway we got.
Yeah, that was the biggest takeaway. It's like it's so much colder than
unpack my jumper to wear it, because it was cold.
Because like I said, we packed really light, so I don't have any pants.
He has no pants,
or
no
long sleeve shirts. No. I just have what you see is what I'm wearing almost all the time.
Whereas for the kids and I knew I packed a jumper for the kids and I, because we get cold and we just didn't know where we would end up. Like at Dermacott, we needed our jumpers, and Cameron Highlands, we needed our jumpers. So I have a vacuum sealed bag with 3 jumpers in it, because this one doesn't seem to get cold.
But I will say this about Cameron Highlands: it is beautiful,
very pretty,
and the only downside I can see to Cameron Highlands is that it's obviously not as developed as some of the other places in Malaysia, which makes it hard from a logistics perspective.
I think COVID might have, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think COVID might have had a big impact on Cameron Highlands as well, because there was quite a few attractions that we went to see and they were closed, like completely closed, not even opening later on that day, later on in the week, they were just closed. So yeah, it was lovely. We went to the strawberry farms. We tried to get them to the mossy forest, but we had one sick kid, so it's kind of a bit hard.
Do you know the highlight of my trip was that butterfly farm. That was cool.
Farm.
There was they had those
so
rhinoceros like beetles, the ones
things.
that were cool, and
just so many insects. That's where we saw the sticky insects. They had these massive.
So that was pretty cool. We really
did like
enjoyed it. For the people that are just tuning in, leave your questions in there. We're just sort of working through them, so bear with us, and we'll get to your questions. So next question is from Fixer Upper. Thank you again for tuning in and staying.
Yeah.
I was just wondering how life is in Australia. Is it really as stressful as people say on vlogs and so on?
I would say yes, just because you have to make so much money just to live in Australia. We always explain to people that it was costing us an absolute fortune just to rent a place. Like we obviously have to rent. We couldn't purchase anything, and the rents were just increasing on us all the time. So we went from a place that was 320 odd Australian dollars per week.
So it's almost 1,000 ringgit a week.
1,000 ringgit, and we left that place when they upped the rent to $470.
So it's at almost 1,500, almost 1,500 ringgit a week.
And that's not including electricity, water, gas, the actual maintenance. Like we had to mow the lawns and tidy up the gardens and stuff. That's not including your food, and then it comes to car and transport. Like all those things just started adding up for us, and we could barely afford it as it was. So we're in a different situation because we had a small business. So we were making an income. It wasn't a massive income, but we were able to support ourselves. But you could think about families and couples that maybe have one job or, part-time job. They'd be scraping. Like, they would be making just enough to get them through. And it's such a shame because Australia is such a beautiful place. But at the moment, they're going through what everyone else is going through. So yes, I would say it is stressful.
Yeah, it's also a different type of stress too, because obviously here in Malaysia there's a lot of stresses. There's poverty. There's like every country has there's incomes are low here, like wages are low, so it's different types of stresses. But I think the biggest stresses about Australia. Hello on Instagram, thank you.
Hi,
so I think the biggest stresses that I tell people is that it's like so much busier and hustle and bustle, and everyone is like, so like one thing we've noticed about Malaysia, and I think we've said this in videos, is that even though everyone is stressed, everyone's just polite, happy and polite to each other and just courteous and things like that. In Australia, it's not like that.
No.
You can be driving down the street. So a very good example, like, uses honking horns here. So you can be driving down the street, and so for instance, right over here, nothing against Malaysians, but pedestrian crossings in Australia, it is against the law to drive through a pedestrian crossing when there's pedestrians on it. Over here, it doesn't seem to be as big a thing. I don't think there's laws involved.
No.
So, but like in Australia, right? If you were to go up to a pedestrian crossing and like abruptly stop in front of someone, that person will abuse you. They'll be like, "What are you doing? You can't."
Just go off the head of someone.
Whereas here, like, that kind of stuff still happens, but people are just like, sorry, and everyone's like, okay, and then moves on with their life. I see it all the time. So I'm 6'2" and 120 kilos, so I'm not a small guy. But I was always afraid of going out at night to to a bar and places like that, because all it takes is one person in that bar to get angry and upset, and next thing there's a massive fight in the bar and people get hurt.
They go just chaotic.
I don't feel like that in Malaysia. And so it's a different type of stress, I suppose. But Australia is not you see neighbours and home and away.
Oh, they're all so bubbly and happy.
You think everyone's just so happy.
Everyone lives on the beach.
And it's just simply not like that, So
one thing I was thinking about the other day when we were driving through the Dermacot, we were driving to Dermacot, and like the housing here, it just amazes us, because you're allowed to build on your land however you want, wherever you want, with whatever type of structure. And our guides and that were saying, oh yeah, people just build houses in the jungle and they're really happy. They love their jungle house and stuff like that. And to me, people just seem to be really happy in the life that they have here in Malaysia. Like Australia, it's always like, I've got to be better than this person, and I've got to buy a better car and a better house because I've got to be the best. And obviously, correct me if I'm wrong again, but everyone's over here seems to be very happy with the life that they've got.
They're just thankful to be alive.
I think they're thankful. Yeah.
Different priorities. Everyone wants to achieve the Australian, Malaysian dream and stuff like that. But it's almost a sport in Australia as opposed to here. Yeah. All right, we'll keep moving.
Okay. Yes, it is stressful in Australia.
Yeah. So for most people who visit Kelantan, they will stay at a homestay. It's cheap and family friendly. Beautiful. Okay, so we'll look at some homestays because we are struggling to find accommodation that's reasonably priced.
Yeah.
So who's here? If you head to Terengganu, my tongue is still getting used to saying words. So and Pahang. Please don't forget to check out. Wow, you're making this one hard for me. Terengganu. It's the best surf area in Malaysia. Gets busy at the end of the year. Yeah, we've heard the surf is amazing there. I don't surf.
We don't surf.
But we
like to look at the beach.
Yeah, we like to go to the beach and have a swim. So we're really looking forward to the East Coast. We heard the scuba, the snorkeling's really good there as well.
Yes.
So you should go try some Purna Sabah, the Maldives in Malaysia. You've seen that.
We looked at that, and obviously we are literally flying to Sandakan and back again next week. And then I looked at that one and I was like, oh my gosh, we're literally around the corner. Like, why did we not fly from Sandakan to Sempura and just organize it that way. And we didn't even have that thought. And now I've looked into it and I'm like, logistically, that is really, really difficult to do for an extra flight. Obviously, we'll have to come back. So yes, we did look into it, but I just wasn't organized enough in logistics to go with that one.
Yep, 100%. So Brian, hey buddy, hopefully Mum was good today. Thank you for taking her out. She really appreciated that.
Yep.
So I don't know if you've been following. So I can't see the question. 1 sec. I'm just going to read it here. So I don't know if you've been following the global economy recently. I have.
Yes,
but the Great Depression 2.0 is looming. Interest rates aren't even close to peaking yet. Do you think the whole selling everything, living abroad is a viable way to weather out? Yeah, 100%.
If you've got money.
Yep.
If you've got a digital job, if you're making passive income, if you've got the savings, I would do it. Brian, we're spending half of what we were spending in Australia, and we're traveling.
Yeah, and we're not missing out on anything.
No.
We're seeing all the experiences. We're doing everything. Now, to answer your question specifically about it being a viable way to weather the storm, it depends on your thought process on whether you on that. So, like, I think it is because by selling all of our stuff, we've significantly reduced our risk in the market because we have no debt now.
Yeah.
So we don't have any debt, which is a huge blanket insurance policy against rising interest rates and economic turmoil in the market.
Yeah.
We also are sitting on cash. And as you know, if there is a Great Depression or if there is a significant slowdown in the economy, this is my thoughts. And again, I'm not giving financial advice, but I do follow macroeconomics fairly closely. If you're sitting on cash and the opportunities arise during this, you can really take advantage of those opportunities as they arise. So, there could be opportunities to fundamentally change your net wealth and tier of wealth in a downturn. So I don't look at a downturn as that bad a thing. I look at it as an opportunity, but it's only an opportunity for people that position themselves. So coming on this trip and spending half of what we would normally spend in Australia is part of that. Now, that's easy to say as an Australian coming to Malaysia, but like I think just generally, if you are watching this, it doesn't matter if you're from Malaysia, Australia, England, anything, get out of debt. Do everything you can right now to get out of debt, because the biggest thing that will limit your ability to take advantage of opportunities is carrying too much debt into whatever's coming. So if you keep your debt loads low and you just get used to living below your means,
way below your means,
then you'll ride out any storm that comes. So it's just about a change in mindset about like the times of economic prosperity and money awash everywhere are going. So you just need to get used to that. So
what's the book or the theory that you had when we paid off all of our debts?
The debt snowball.
The debt snowball.
Okay, so this is a principle by Dave Ramsey, and it's a really good way to get out of debt. So if you're watching this and you have a bit of debt, this is the single best way to get out of it. So you get you sit down and you write down all of your debt. Everything from top to bottom. Yeah. And now traditional financial thinking says to pay the thing off with the highest amount of interest first. But what the debt snowball suggests you do is you pay off the smallest debt first, regardless of interest. So let's say you have a $500 credit card and you have like a $10,000 car loan and $25,000 personal loan, let's say, for instance. You would pay the $500 debt off first, and then you would take the repayments that you'll make on that and add it to the snowball, and then pay off the next debt. And then eventually it just becomes this bigger snowball that gets momentum, and you can knock out all your debt in a year or two.
Because you have that win from the first one that you paid off, because you're like, I can do this. We've paid off one debt already. So all of a sudden you've got this in your brain. We can do this. We've done it for the first one. Let's just keep on going. And you find more money to pay off those other ones, and it gets quicker and quicker and quicker.
And there's no better feeling than being free of debt. Like it's like part of the reason we're not stressed when we're traveling like this is because it's like financially we have nothing to stress about. Yeah. And regardless of having savings or whatever, it's just like no one can put a noose around our neck from a bank perspective and go, well, you got to come back home because you owe us money. It's like we're just free of that.
We literally just have to make up our own minds of where we go next and what accommodation we want to book.
All right, let's say I could talk all day about that, and I know this isn't a financial thing, but yeah, get out there.
This one's about the cross.
Oh yeah, it is against the law, but just don't follow it. Yeah, and look, in Australia
No
too.
one seems to mind here, which is fun.
In Australia, no one follows it either, to be fair. Like, there's a lot of people that run straight through them, but the
You will
police
get
are a lot
abused.
more strict as well. So, like, if police see you doing that, you'll get a fine. There's no way out of it. Do you guys eat rice with spoon and fork? Yeah.
We do.
Yep. So, do you guys now eat rice with a spoon and fork?
Our kids love eating rice.
I eat everything with a spoon and fork now.
Yep.
I don't even know. I don't even think this place has
This
knives.
place doesn't have knives. We actually use a spoon to put butter and peanut butter on a bread. So, yeah.
So we are truly.
We do have a question on Instagram, and it says, "Where now?" We're going to KL. As of the 31st, we're going to KL. Next week, we're actually in Sandakan for 4 days, and we come back here, and then we're off to KL.
And we're currently in Kota Kinabalu.
Yeah.
All right. So please check. Please check out.
Perhentian Islands. I have definitely checked them out before, and it was on our list when we were actually in Penang, but we just didn't get the time to go across. So that is definitely on our list.
It's another excuse to come back and wheel around the peninsula of Malaysia again and go and see this stuff.
I had all these things listed down, and Jimmy's like, "No, we need to go to Kuching." I was like, "Okay."
We've been here for almost 4 months, and we haven't even scratched the surface.
Surface.
So like
there's so many places.
That's why we're gonna plant our flag here, because there's so much to see.
We missed out on going to Mulu because the flights were too expensive. We missed out on Miri and Bintulu and all those places because we had this brand deal come up. So it's just like we've just jumped from place to place, and we've missed so much. So there are so many things on our list.
So are you coming to Kelantan? Yes.
Yep.
We're going to do a whole trip down the east coast and go and see all the states.
Yep.
But we just got a few things to do before then.
Yep.
Yasin, hello.
You're back
super
again.
fan. So Yasin's an OG of the channel.
Yeah.
Back when we had 20, 30 subscribers when we
Yeah.
first came over here, he was one of the first people to comment. So I'll never forget you. Thank you for tuning into the live. You're an absolute legend of the channel. Now I regret taking a home loan last year. No.
Don't regret it.
It's not like that. It's if you only regret getting a house loan if you intend to sell it. So if you look at housing as a long-term thing and you're going to have the house you're in for 10, 12 years, it won't matter.
It's an asset. It's for your family. It's keeping a roof.
Yeah,
over
you got
your
a
head.
roof over your head. That's more important than having. You can't make a roof out of cash.
Yeah.
So yes, okay, there's some missed opportunity cost by having all that money locked up in a house, but it's better to have a roof over your head than be out in the street with a box over you.
And just think about it as a challenge. If you want to start paying it off, find some more money from somewhere.
Yep.
And do it quicker.
Yeah, that is another thing I can say if you are concerned about what's coming is diversify your income streams. So we have several income streams, not just one big one. We have a big one, but we also have lots of little ones, affiliate blogs, the YouTube channel, the other channels that we're starting.
Yeah.
I do some coaching for a friend of mine. Do some coaching in his course. Digital downloads.
We create blogs. I have affiliate programs.
All these things are like $100 a month, $200 a month, a couple of $100 a month, but they add up. And the thing is, it's like being Medusa's head. You can cut the head off one of the snakes, but there's other snakes to take over its place. The more heads you have on the snake, the less chance of someone just wiping the whole thing out.
Yeah.
The beauty about digital assets and online money, Wi-Fi money, is that you can do it after you work. So if you work 10 hours a day, just allocate an hour a day to learning a little bit about it.
Yeah.
That's what we did. And then we fully transitioned.
It doesn't take a whole lot to then check those kind of digital assets either and maintain them. I found it once you get into a routine of what you need to check and what the next step is, it can be done in 10 minutes, half an hour.
Yep, 100%. Uncontrollable debts are a nuisance. Yeah, they are, and they can in a blink of an eye,
especially.
Yeah, in a blink of an eye, they can really get out of control, and it's scary how many people are in that position. But Amir, hi from Malaysian, living in a very expensive Sydney. Big fan of the family. Keep it up. Thank you for tuning in. I've been doing this everywhere. I don't know if it's doing it right, but thank you so much for tuning in. It means a lot that people enjoy the content because it takes a lot of effort to make. Yeah. So I just recently made a video on the Sabah Filipino market here, and there was a bit of pushback on that because obviously the relations between Philippines and Sabah is not the best of terms. But like I said in the comments, I didn't make it as a political statement or anything like
No.
that. I just made it as an outside coming to Coda.
Checking out the sites.
Yeah, just checking out the sites and sharing something that we enjoyed. And so it's a little bit disheartening when you get comments going, oh, you should be better, understand that better. It's like, no, all we're doing is just sharing interesting things that we see along the way. The market exists, and it exists, and we just it's a cool place to visit.
Yeah.
So it's nice to hear people enjoy the content. Yeah. It keeps us going, and we'll continue to make it while people enjoy it. And then, yes, and I'm glad you don't have to have any credit cards anymore. I used to have so many plastic cards, and I'm glad I'm free.
Good job. Well
done, mate.
Pat on the back right there.
But I guess when you travel, you need at least one credit. Yeah, we
do.
We still have credit cards.
Especially for flights and accommodation because they're such a big purchase. But obviously, then they are paid straight off.
Yeah.
We also get points.
We actually have 3 credit cards. But we collect points on those to help with flights and stuff as well. But yeah, we don't let them run away.
No.
That's the secret. It's
Every month they are paid off before that due date, and they have to be because it becomes unmanageable. Hello to Danielle. Hi, Danny.
Hello, Danny. Hello. Sorry, I missed you. Hello, Danny. So we got many pristine beaches and islands in Terengganu on the Parentian Island.
We will pronounce that properly one day.
Yeah, see, look, this is exactly what I want to go. It's like one thing we've missed being in Malaysia is just seeing beaches and coral.
Yeah.
Now, we are going on an island tour here in KK towards the end of the month.
End of next week kind of thing.
But no, look, there's some beautiful areas.
There's some amazing places.
Our only experience with the water has been Penang, which wasn't pleasant.
That was a bit weird.
It's for those who don't know, so Penang is like a tropical island, right? Like it's a big island and stuff, but the water is like 36 degrees.
You cannot go swimming.
It was warmer.
Box jellyfish.
Yeah.
It's like a bath. It's really like oily and
it's silty. It's silty.
Like, very strange.
Yeah, so you get in the water, and not only is it hot like a bath, it like covers you in this layer, and it's like makes you all slimy.
Yeah.
And then we found out because we're on this beach, right? This isn't Penang. We're on this beach and we're swimming, and there's like no one else in the water, and we're like, oh, this is odd. Maybe they just don't like it being hot. And then we found out after the fact that the water's full of box jellyfish. That's why none of the locals swim in it. So I was like, oh, okay. I wish someone had come and told us.
We should have known that before we hopped in.
But it's all part of the fun. Like no one got hurt. But yeah, we learned our lesson. So yeah.
So yes, we are just waiting for some lovely beaches. So yeah.
So we got. What is your favorite thing you've done so far?
Ooh, that's a good question, Daddy. We were actually only having this conversation with the kids the other day. We asked them at dinner time some questions, and we were like, what's your favorite thing that you've done? And they were like, we've done so many things. And we were like, maybe choose a couple then. So mine was definitely Splash Mania in KL, just because the water park was so much fun. And then I think it has to be Dermacot, the trip that we just went on. Because of the stuff that we have seen, and we do not want to spoil it because we have an amazing YouTube video coming out. This
is going to be one of my biggest videos yet. So you're going to have to wait for the video.
You're going to have to wait for the video, but just Dermacot was unbelievable. It was a long slog. It was long days, late nights, but it was amazing. So
yeah, I quite like the theme parks as well, just because it's it's always fun to go down big slides and stuff. But my favorite thing is probably Gua Temple Run, like the caving.
Oh, yeah.
The caving was probably the video we just made a couple of weeks back. That was probably my favorite thing, just because it was nice to see the boys having a lot of fun. And
there's just too many things.
We've done a lot. Really so we're very blessed. This is the thing. We're very blessed to be able to say that have a hard time picking the most fun we've had, because we've been doing a lot of adventures. And so I would say there's several things, but the Gua Temple Run was good because the boys really, we all pushed ourselves, and it was really nice, and it was a challenge. And, I got out and it was satisfying, and I got to drive, I enjoy driving, and, we drove 80 kilometers. So Chocolate, the adventure in itself was trying to get through Ipoh in the car. That was an adventure in itself. So that was pretty good. And then we got the next question here.
Dinner.
We did.
Yes.
So speaking of dinner, we tried something here, but I'm going to tell you what my favorite takeaway is in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Now, it may not make any sense to the Australians watching, but my favorite takeaway in Malaysia as an Australian that's come to Malaysia is Uncle Bob. Uncle Bob. My heart's with Uncle Bob. It's cheap. And so Uncle Bob is like Korean fried chicken.
Oh, such a weird one.
And it was like we only discovered it the other day, but the
By
chicken,
accident.
but the chicken is so nice.
Yes,
So
it is
so
very nice.
give us some love if you like Uncle Bob. You know, just tell
Shout
us
it out.
tell
Yep.
us if you love Uncle Bob, or tell us what your favorite takeaway is, because I'm curious. Because one video that we're going to do, and I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on that. So leave it in the comments if you think it's a good idea. Is when we get to KL, we're going to do a video, and we're going to do what our weekly shop would be in Australia. We're going to do the same shop in a Malaysian supermarket. So we're going to go and
It's gonna be interesting.
so we kind of know what we buy all the time in Australia, and so we're going to walk around the shops and try and
Replicate that.
that. I know for a fact that a lot of the stuff's not going to be here, so we're going to have to find some Malaysian alternatives, which I think is going to be quite entertaining. So we're going to do that. So yeah, if you think that's something you'd be interested in watching, let us know in the comments, because obviously it's a big undertaking, but I think it would be quite a funny video. So that's our next. That's probably going to be one of the next videos we do.
Oh, fun.
So we got a hi from a Melbourne Malaysian Sabah.
Hello.
Hello, hi from Melbourne, Malaysian Sabah. Oh, cool. Hey, Sabah is such a beautiful place.
Yeah.
It's got the perfect mix between like sea, like ocean, and city, and jungle, and culture.
Yeah.
You know, like
So many things.
like it's just like the perfect mix of it all. It's such a beautiful place, and all of Malaysia is beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but like, it's been, and I'm gonna tell you something here that may be detrimental, but some of the friendliest people we've met have been in Sabah, in KK especially. The security guards here.
Our security guards.
They like,
so
I don't know
nice.
what it is about the security guards here, but they go out of their way to go hello, 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 and they run over.
I have them opening the door for me downstairs when I've got all my groceries.
Maybe they're just paid to do that. But even just walking down and you say hello to people and they're all like, hello, hello. So like, yeah, it's nice. But look, we would be happy anywhere in Malaysia. Yeah. So it's not like it's specifically here. I think it's just a Malaysian thing. Yes. But yeah, it's something we've definitely noticed. But yeah, KK is Sabah's pretty awesome. So yeah.
Yes,
you can't swim in Penang Beach. It's full of jellyfish. Yeah. So I think we got pretty lucky not to get stung.
We saw one jellyfish, but it wasn't a box jellyfish.
No, it was just like a big fat jellyfish.
We only went in like that deep, so we weren't.
But yeah, it's good to know. And this is why I think we're going to make videos about this stuff, because like as a traveler, you don't know that stuff, and like getting stung by a box jellyfish could just ruin your whole vacation.
Completely dangerous.
Yeah. A box jellyfish can kill you too.
Yeah.
So we need to let other people know about this stuff. So,
we've got so many things written down that we need to start organizing.
It's just time, just time.
Yeah.
Then we got another one here. Yeah, you loved your temper.
Thank
you so much. Yeah, I appreciate that.
We had a lot of fun on that trip. Yep.
Yeah, we did. And I wasn't sure if we were going to post it because the quality of the video is not great.
It's a bit grainy, but I think that adds to the
it's real. It's real.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, I'll just grab it.
This is how he runs around like a tourist. So if anyone feels my embarrassment, you'll realize soon what I have to deal with. And the questions I get asked while he has this camera, he's going to show you. He puts it in his mouth, and then he asks me questions, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And now he can't find it. So
no, I got it. So the voice got my camera.
Yeah.
Oh, they cracked it. So sorry. What did they tell me? Boys cracked.
I said sorry.
My little boy, not to me.
Oh.
So this is all of our videos are filmed on an action cam, a phone, and a 360 camera, right? So now that normally goes in there, but if you're wondering how I get all these awesome shots, first person
view. This is how I have to look at him.
I went through the whole cave with this in my mouth, walking around like this for 4 hours. And my jaw was so sore. So I'm crawling through the cave like this. And then sometimes I have to turn around like this so the water didn't go in. But yeah, that's the things I did to try and get us a shot.
It looks like at the water parks doing all the things.
Yeah, I don't care.
And all the lifeguards are like,
are you allowed that?
Are you allowed to chat? And they have to like radio their boss, and they're like, this guy's got this thing in his mouth, and it's a whole story.
But
I really
should
be filming him.
That's the setup, guys. See what I do to get you guys awesome footage. I stick this in my mouth and run around. So hopefully you guys appreciate. I'm glad you like the good temperong video because carrying this for 3 hours in my mouth wasn't easy. Okay, so we got the next question. So there's a cold place in Bukit Tinggi, and it's like a holiday in France. Check it out. Yeah,
Okay.
We'll keep adding that stuff to the list.
Keep adding these
We
lists?
take all of the stuff you suggest. We definitely
I have
run
a
with it.
massive list, like a list.
Yeah, because it's
We love lists.
we love you guys, like you locals are the ones that have the best adventures, and that's what we want to do. So what's your another OG of the channel. Now I'm gonna mispronounce your name and I apologize for that. I'm gonna try my best. Norhasalina Hassan is another OG of the channel. We are going to come to Kelantan. Yes. You keep mentioning it. We are going to get there. So what is your favorite Malaysian food so far? I can answer this question quite easily. It's kolo mee. Kolo mee. And
however, we can't get it in Kota.
No, because it's a Sarawaki dish.
Thing.
So kolo mee and 3-layer tea.
I actually
and sabar tea. Sabar tea as well. I quite like sabar tea.
Bakute. I really like. It is an amazing dish, and I also just like the standard nasi lemak because it's amazing. So they're my two favorites.
I quite like roti canai as well.
Oh yeah, any type of roti.
Yeah, like I love those. So I have that for breakfast now with peanut butter. So I've made like a Malaysian Asian Malaysian Australian fusion. So roti canai with peanut butter.
We're kind of going for like the pancake or the waffle situation.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
With the peanut butter on there. So
I think it would be really good with pandan as well. So
oh yeah, pandan jam, that would be good.
So the next combination I'm going to try is roti canai, peanut butter, pandan
jam.
Yum.
And we only came across pandan jam the other day, so that was the first.
Okay, so next question.
Hey guys,
coming to Sarawak? If yes, then the vlog comes. Yeah, so we've been to Sarawak. I've got 3 videos that I've done there.
We are really
Sarawak
behind.
Cultures Museum, which was awesome, by the way. It's one of the largest museums in Southeast Asia. We've got the cultural museum as well.
No, the cultural village.
The cultural village,
the cultural museum.
And I did a third one as well.
There's a third one.
It's on the tip of my tongue. I only just downloaded today. So they're in the poll. So basically how it works.
So many.
So I'd love to hear people's thoughts on this, right? Because like the videos that I make that are a little bit less adventurous don't get views. So I've been prioritizing the videos that are a little bit more adventurous. Now, if you guys want to see the more cultural stuff, I've got like 30 videos. Got
so many videos.
I've just been prioritizing the videos that get the views because I want to grow our audience and get more and show more people. I want more people to see our videos so they can see Malaysia, and obviously we get paid as well, so we have an incentive. But the Cultures Museum is something else. I'm going to make a video about that because it was unreal as well.
It's amazing. Yeah,
I just got to get time. Like each video takes like 100 hours. Yeah. Like each video takes anywhere between 50 and 100 hours to make.
Because there's so much video that we take to comb through to start off with. So
So it takes time, but they'll be coming, and look forward to that because we love Sarawak.
I did actually meet a fan in the shop before Dermacot, and he also handed me about videos coming out, and I said to him, I'm so sorry, there are so many in the editing pipeline, and he was like, I want more videos. I'm like, I know, I understand. I'm really sorry.
So because we got other channels too. So like we've got a Families on the Horizon channel that's more tailored to like more talking to families that want to travel like this.
Travel ideas,
what to pack and things like that. So I'm going to make content for that as well. But yeah, definitely got some videos there. So Sabah is underrated. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Look, KL and Penang get all the attention from the international travelers. Yeah. But look, KL's nice, Penang's nice, nothing wrong with them. But
the whole of Borneo does not get enough publicity at all. I
cannot believe how little attention the Borneo gets. It's such a beautiful part of the world. And that's a good thing. It's a bad thing, it's a good thing. It's a good thing because it's not like destroyed by tourists. But it's a bad thing because it doesn't get the love it deserves. I think the ultimate trip so far would be JB to KL, to Ipoh, to Cameron Highlands, to Penang, to the east coast of Kelantan and the east coast.
Kind of go across and then down the other
side. And then you would go probably back to KL then over to Sarawak, Sarawak to Sabah, Sabah to wherever you go. That would be like the ultimate trip. And
really, you need to go from Sarawak, like Kuching, along the coast to Sabah to see all those amazing places as well, because they're just
And most people just go KL, Ipoh, Penang, and then out, which
sometimes
is disappointing.
not even Ipoh, sometimes straight through Ipoh.
Just trail KL to Penang and then out, which is disappointing. But I agree, it's underrated. Ginger, expensive ginger, and I know, $50 a kilo. You get wild ginger here. Just go out in the jungle and there's ginger just growing out in the ground. You know,
onions are expensive here.
Onions are expensive. The beauty, you know, this is the thing. Like, we went out to a village as part of. We went to Kilu in Sabah, and we went into a village, and we had the nicest pineapple I've ever had in my life. And it was just literally growing in his backyard.
Yeah.
So they just cut up one they had grown in their backyard. It was a golden pineapple. It was so nice. You know, like in Australia, you struggle to find good pineapples as it is. But then the flip side is it's very hard to get apples and pears and oranges here. So, you know, it all comes full circle. So, Clint, what has been the biggest culture shock you've had? I think the lack of following road rules. You know, no, actually, that's probably not the biggest culture shock. That's more just like it is annoying to be walking across the road and no one stopped for you.
I'm gonna have to say the bathrooms.
Yeah.
They are wet. They're always wet. And it is kids especially, like, you know, we walk in there and we can kind of, nicely walk without slipping over. Don't touch anything, wash your hands, walk out. Kids, they just can't do that. They love to mess around in the water and they want to touch everything, and you're just like, please don't do that. Like, Australian bathrooms, out in shopping centres also aren't amazing. Like, they're not the cleanest of things. Oh, the camera likes me now. They're not the cleanest of things, but at least the floor's not wet.
Whoa.
Oh,
you're right.
Poor camera.
I'll sort it out.
It's just the floor being.
We're still here. I've got to get the camera to come back. Come back. There we go.
The floor being so wet is it's very frustrating. So that's probably my biggest culture shock is bathrooms and not having toilet paper.
Yeah, I think that's the same with me actually. Now that I think about it, that is quite a big thing to get used to.
Poor Jimmy had to do the big squat the other day.
Man, I've been pretty lucky. I've been able to find most places have a normal toilet, but I had to do a squat the other day and I almost fell over. My legs don't bend.
And you wouldn't want to fall over in there either. Just what I've said. It's so wet. And
I had to hold onto a bucket and I almost broke the bucket. So it's not easy for a big guy like me. I don't know how you Malaysians do it, but we go. So we got a super chat. Thank you so much, guys.
You're amazing.
Thank you so much. It means a lot to us. Love all the videos that you guys put out. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the gesture.
Amazing.
It's we're overwhelmed with the support we've been getting on our content. We originally made the content for ourselves.
Yeah.
I wanted to create a living, breathing journal of this trip because when the boys are older, I wanted them to have something to look back on and us to have something to look back on.
Gosh, Riley can't even remember 6 months ago. Yep. So we're hoping that all of these videos and
today we went and watched the Splash Mania video.
Yeah.
Went and watched a few videos from the
Legoland ones we did last year.
We went and watched those, and it was really nice to be able to share that with the kids and jog their memories because they now want to go back to Splash Mania. So thank you for the super chat. It's really appreciated. So Samuel Lowe, hi there. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate your support. And then we have there are places in Western Australia called Gidgee and Coolangatta. You'll get the hang of pronouncing Tirang Kanu soon. Yeah, well, we do know. So
we actually know both of those places.
Yeah.
So yes.
So we call it Gidgee.
Yeah, Gidgee. Yeah.
And Coolangatta. Coolangatta, that's in Rockingham. Yeah, I used to live near Coolangatta.
Yeah.
So
we know both of those. I've got a friend in Gidgee.
Yeah, but it's just getting used to. So what I'm finding difficult when I'm pronouncing places is I'm finding that everything's broken up into two letters. So it'll be Tirenganu. I don't know if that's right, but that's I'm getting used to saying that because I would read this as an Australian. I would read it as Terengganu.
But then even we went to Kilu the other day and it's spelled Kiulu. Now we would have said Kiulu, but it's Kilu.
Yeah.
So where's the extra U in there going?
I will get used to it. We'll get used to it.
We'll get used to it. We'll figure it out.
We're working. One thing we pride ourselves on is we really try to. We try.
Liam even asked the other day. He's like, "I want to learn Bahasa Malaysian." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah. So like we try. You know, it's just got to go with the flow, right?
Yeah.
Hello, Mohammed. Thank you for tuning in, buddy. And then we got mouth grip camera set up. Yep, the old bad boy.
Yep.
Dedication.
100%. Definitely dedication. Yep.
So who does the editing? So for the first like 7 videos, I did the editing. So I do know how to edit. But it's so time consuming. We've got a business run, so we actually have Miko. I don't know if Miko's watching. He's our full-time editor.
Jimmy actually needs some sleep. So
because it's nice to be detached from the content somewhat because I'm too much of a perfectionist. So Miko does our editing. He does it full time now for our channel and the other channels we have. And I'll pass that feedback on him. We are so lucky to have Miko. He is so good at editing, and he's able to just do it in one hit. So he knows us that well and how we talk in the boys that he's able to, like that Gua Temperong video. He did that in one edit, and I said, "Yep, it's perfect. Yeah. Just change 1 or 2 little things, and we're good." It's very rare to find someone that can edit like that. So Miko, if you're watching, don't leave us because you're awesome.
Yeah, doing such a good job.
Today have badminton.
Badminton live. Okay, we didn't know that. So that's okay.
Today have badminton live, not a day to do a live because many Malaysians like to watch a badminton. Yeah. Look, we can't compete against badminton, right? But like,
and what were they watching last night?
The soccer.
The soccer.
Yeah, Kota Kinabalu was playing, so they were watching the soccer.
Yeah, so we understand.
Look, if we might have to get into badminton. To be fair, I used to play a lot as a kid. So how about some roti canai and Vegemite?
I don't like Vegemite.
I'll try that. That's a good mix.
The kids will do. I'm not a Vegemite.
I might make a video on that. I'll find some Vegemite. Oh, actually, it's hard to find Vegemite here.
I've never seen Vegemite over here.
That would be a good...
phone. You can get Nutella and you can get peanut butter and all sorts of stuff. Sorry, our other camera's gone a bit wayward behind here. I think it's run out of battery.
Yep.
Sorry, Instagram Live. That's probably gone a bit funny.
We're still here, guys.
We're still here. So yeah, really hard to find Vegemite. But anyway, we will try. Even if it has to be back in Australia, we'll sort it out for you.
I'm just putting this on charge.
Yeah,
I'm still here.
Jimmy's just, you can still see him here. He's still here. Right. I enjoyed all your videos so much. Thanks for showing the best of Malaysia to us. Okay, going for my supper at the local market. Okay, have fun.
Which market's that? What's your local market?
If you're still on, let us know your local market. We went to the one down Gaia Street last night. It was pretty good.
I'm just gonna end up like this.
Yeah, it's just gonna hold it.
Yeah.
We saw that one already. Yeah. Clint's back again. Do you need us to send you some onions? Possibly. They're about 2 times the price of Australia over here. So Jimmy is on onion rations.
Yeah. Clint, so for those who don't know,
if you can imagine that, he's on onion rations.
For those who don't know, fun fact about me is apparently I like onions. I don't know where that comes from, but yeah, I like my onions. So guys, don't forget to visit the Lima Maritime and Aerospace Exposition in Langkawi for 5 days. We probably won't be able to go to that. We've got some commitments in.
We're flying out to Sandakan on the 22nd and won't be back here until like the 26th. So yeah, we missed out on that one.
That's all right. We'll catch them next time.
We will figure that one out. Wish I could trip to, but I'm a little short. Wish I could tip to.
Tiptoe,
but I'm a little short.
Well, you have to.
I have to explain that one to us. Not quite sure about that one. Where are we at? Have you tried durian?
Yeah, look,
we got asked this the last time.
I'm going to have to try it. I've been asked so many times to try it. To be fair, I'm a little bit scared because I've heard mixed things about it. But yeah, look, we'll have to try it.
We will.
Yeah, we'll try. We'll make it. It'll be a short. We'll make like a TikTok video of it, and you guys can have a bit of fun.
I got offered jackfruit the other day, and I couldn't even bring myself to.
I've had jackfruit before. It's not bad. It's not my cup of tea, but durian's always fun.
All right, so you got the correct pronunciation. There you go. Good job, Jimmy. Well done.
Thank you very much.
I'm just trying to fly through some of these because we've got a lot coming in, and we're running.
Once you try it and get used to it, you're a Malaysian citizen. Okay, well that's a rite of passage, is it?
That's a rite of passage.
We can do that.
We got that one.
We can do that.
All right. Agree when we talk about Malaysia, people just know KL, Penang, and so on. Sabah and Sarawak should be known because we have the best nature. After all, you do.
You have some of the best nature in the world, let alone
amazing
Malaysia.
Jungles and all sorts of things. It's just, We while we're in Dermacot, actually, we met so many people passing through because there's obviously lots of tours that come through Dermacot from the coast, like from Sandakan and things like that. They come through both the Derma Valley,
Duma Valley.
Yeah, come through there and then into Dermacot and then back to Kota or wherever they're going. So we did meet quite a few. But they're very specific tourists. They were obviously coming there for the wildlife. We saw bird people, we saw insect people, we saw people that were very, very specifically coming to Dermacot for those reasons. There just wasn't a lot of people that were there just traveling. So we really want to figure out why people, it's just not well known.
Whereas if you go KL, like there's heaps of travelers, expats, everything
there all the time.
So yeah, we'll get to the bottom of it. Mates, Malaysia prefers football to soccer. Yeah. Look, it's so in Australia, like for those who haven't been to Australia, we have it's a confusing situation because we have a thing called Australian rules football, which is what we call football in Australia.
Yeah.
So in Australia, football is called soccer because we have Australian rules football. Australia is the only place that plays it, but it's it gets the fourth largest attendance on the planet as far as sport. AFL, Australian Football League. It's actually, so a fun fact, you have the English Premier League, you have, I think it's NFL, there's I think it's one of the European leagues, soccer leagues, and then you have AFL. So most games in the AFL get 40 to 50,000 people to them. So it's a pretty incredible sport. Richmond Tigers, Clint better not be watching this.
Clint better not be watching. He'd love you.
Yeah, so my best mate is probably the biggest Richmond supporter I know. But yeah, so like a lot of people don't know that about Australia. Is like we have it's not rugby, it's not NFL gridiron, it's not soccer. It's its own thing. There's nothing to compare it to except maybe Gaelic football, but a lot of people don't know what that is as well.
I have 4 cousins, all from the same family, that all umpire Australian football. So
at the league level, yeah. So start with durian ice cream first. Yeah, that could be a good place to start.
We actually found a stall last night at the markets on Guy Street that sold durian cake. Is that the same? Do you reckon try durian cake as well?
Yeah, I just want to take the Band-Aid off and just try it wholesale. You know, it can't be that bad, right?
No.
So it's so for those who don't know that are watching this from Australia, durian is a very polarizing fruit.
Yeah.
It's the king of fruits. It's spiky.
There's notices you cannot bring it into certain places.
You cannot
have it in your hotel room. You cannot have it in your accommodation. If it falls from a tree, it will actually kill you because it's that spiky, as we got told the other day.
Can we all agree that it smells? That's why it's not allowed. But that doesn't take away from the flavor. That apparently warms you up.
Yeah, apparently it's really nice and warms you. So
we'll be ready.
However, I'm not sure if that's quite a good thing in such a hot country to start off with.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not quite sure about
that. We did get a question on Instagram, so I just wanted to bring that up while we're just going here.
Right. Okay. Well, I might as well give you some background if you don't know. Jimmy and I have actually been together for 18 years.
18 years.
Nearly 18 years, I think. So I think we're 17 and a half, something like that. We've been married nearly 10 years. Being November this year will be our 10th year that we've been married. Jimmy was in the Australian Navy when I first met him, and I was in university. I followed him across the country on my 21st birthday to go and live with him in Victoria because we're from Western Australia, so we moved to Victoria. We drove the Nullarbor together. And then along our travels, we decided to pack up everything 11 years ago and do a trip like this for 7 months. So we sold everything 11 years ago. And back then we didn't have phones and technology. So our poor trip is photos sitting on some drive somewhere in our storage unit, just sitting there wasting away because we don't have the technology like we do nowadays to make all these videos and stuff like that. And then along the lines, we came back and moved to a country town. We were supposed to be there for a couple of years. We ended up being there for 7 and had 2 kids and bought 2 houses along the way and sold them again. And then we ended up back in Mandurah, our hometown, and started a small business. and then decided that wasn't for us. And we still kept the small business, but didn't obviously want the premises and the, employees and the stress that goes on with that. And here we are talking to you guys from Malaysia.
Yep.
So that is our
that's like the cliff notes.
In our cliff notes. So if you have any questions about what I've just said of our life, also I met Jimmy at a fish and chip shop. Which is probably one of the most funniest stories people hear and do not realize that actually happened. I went in there late one night to get chips because my family and I had been out, and my mum sent me down there as a 17-year-old to go and get some chips because we had people coming over. He was working for his sister at the local fish and chip shop. He was trying to organise getting me some chips and started talking to me. Anyway, we're having this conversation. I really wasn't into the conversation at the time because I was actually texting someone else that had told me that they'd liked me on that day. So I was just like, okay, yep. And then I get home to my family, and my father and poor dad opens the chips and sees that he has written a message and his phone number in there, gone, hey, think you're cute, and his phone number. So I messaged him back. I was like, oh my gosh, so embarrassing. Like, so embarrassing. I'm like, what did you do that for? Oh my gosh. Anyway, we got chatting, and hence 17 and a half years later, here we are.
So that's some dating advice, guys. If you're young and watching this, just go old school. Just pen and paper, that's all you need.
Pen and paper, note in your fish and chips.
Anyways, you've fairly embarrassed me now, so we'll keep moving. So Socceroos, the Australian soccer team. Are you guys still in KL? No, we're not at the moment.
Coming back to KL.
We'll be in KL for a week next week. If anyone wants to catch up, let me know. We got some free time. Yep. So, if you want to catch up, please let me know. Wow, Navy people, ahoy.
Hello.
Thank you very much. Did almost 10 years. Went to the Middle East in 2009, got a few medals and bits and pieces. So we've been together for almost we've been together for 7 years while I was in the Navy, and I was on the ocean for 4 of them.
Yeah.
So the first 7 years of us being together, I was away at sea for 4 of them. So they say
makes the heart grow stronger.
Separation makes the heart grow fonder. It certainly did in our case.
I actually gave him an ultimatum. So we had been together for about 2 weeks, I think it was. And then he had to hop on a ship, and off they went. A month. It was supposed to be just a month, I think. And by the end of the month, he then said, I've got a posting if I want it. I'll get a medal and I'll get this and that. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. Yep, that's fine. I don't know if I'll be here when you get back if you take that posting. So he showed back up.
I chose it.
He chose me and not the Navy, so I'm the winner in that one.
So you're the winner. Yeah. Adorable meeting. Yeah, look, it's a nice story. I was young.
A bit of fun.
I was 18 and Pauline was 17. So look, I had to throw, as they say in the NFL, I had to throw a Hail Mary pass. I had no other option. So
he actually didn't write the note either.
Yeah, my nephew did.
He got his nephew to write it because his handwriting's pretty
I was
bad.
trying to write a full speech, and my nephew was like, "Why don't you just write shit you think you're cute in a number?" And that's how we ended up.
So thank you, Brian, for the advice because he needed it.
So Jimmy looks like a Malay sometimes.
He does.
Interesting you say that. I'm actually half Filipino.
Yeah.
So I get that a lot. I actually think it depends on which way you're looking at me. From the front on, I don't know, but without a beard, I would say I look a lot more Malaysian or Indo and like Filipino. I look a lot more Filipino.
We wish we could share with you a baby face of Jimmy. It's quite funny.
I'm the thing is I'm big and I'm fat, so like the beard serves a purpose because it hides my second chin. So the beard's staying, but if I don't have a beard, I look Filipino.
Oh yeah.
With a beard, I don't, maybe not so much, but
no.
If I style my hair and stuff like that, it can pass. But look, I'm 6'2", so I'm walking. When I'm walking around, people don't think I'm Malaysian. It's because I'm just so tall and big. My late father was a Navy captain. Oh, awesome to hear. Sorry to hear about your loss, but I have a lot of respect for people that have been in the military because it's not an easy thing to do.
It's not an easy life.
But it's not an easy life, and more respect to your father. late father. So how are the kids feeling about being in Malaysia? Do they like it? Food, things to do? Maybe you can do a video on the next. Yeah, if you guys would be interested in seeing that, I can make a video on that. Just like a segment, perhaps in one of the videos we do. We ask them a lot because we don't want to drag our kids through something they don't enjoy. But I ask them all the time. It's like, do you guys want to go back to Australia? You guys want to go back to Australia? And they're like, no, we don't.
No. The food doesn't seem to bother them either. They're really happy just to eat rice and noodles, whether it has chicken on it, beef on it, vegetables. Like, Dermacot was a real test for them because we didn't get to choose what kind of food was presented to us. It was a set menu and we had no idea what it was. And there really was only one thing that they didn't eat, which was a bit spicy, this spicy curry. Everything else they ate, and they do eat. We just order them something that's non-spicy. Like tonight they had Korean fried chicken with egg and fried rice, and they'll eat nasi lemak as long as they don't put the sambal on it, or I don't know, mee goreng, fried rice. They're really not picky, are they?
No.
They really, our kids just don't like fruit at the moment. That's their thing, but they prefer vegetables. So we just get them a stir-fried veggies and they're happy.
Yeah, we're very lucky. Our kids are so go with the flow that they're just happy to just be in the moment. And I know a lot of kids aren't like that. We've met a lot of people traveling and their kids struggling with the transition. But, we're so, as you guys can tell probably from the videos, we're so just go with the flow that the kids have just inherited that. Yeah. And so, we'll try, I look at Durian and go, yeah, well, you guys haven't seen it yet, but in this Talau, Kilu, the guide was like, oh, you can actually eat rubber he was tapping a rubber tree. He was tapping a latex off a rubber tree, and he goes, oh, you can actually, it tastes kind of sweet. I was like, yeah, I'll try that. So stick my finger in the rubber latex, give it a try. I was like, oh yeah, it's not really that sweet. Maybe he was just pranking me, but the boys have inherited that. They're always willing to try stuff. So food wise, they're fine. I think they miss Australian stuff, like meat pies and stuff, but they'll live. Things to do, they love it. They love it over here because we're doing a lot of adventurous stuff. Yeah. And I think what we'll do is maybe I'll make a video and I'll call it what our kids think of Malaysia, and I will just ask them questions like an interview, and we'll just see what their
reaction is.
We'll see what their responses are because I don't know what they'll say.
They're kids, and they'll say the first thing that comes to their head.
So,
most of the time, it's I don't know.
If it offends Malaysians, sorry. This next
Really
video,
sorry.
if it offends Malaysians, but coming from a kid, so you just got to smile about that, right? So we'll do that. I think we'll do that video. Oh no, Pauline, makes me curious about Jimmy's baby face.
Oh, it's a good baby face too.
Look, maybe after a few lives, if we'll do a few more weeks of this, maybe we'll pull up a picture of what I look like with that.
It's good. It really is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Don't like Pauline. I'm almost 30 years. Oh, okay. Yep.
We're in our 30s as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm actually 36, and
I'll be 35 in July.
I'm 37. No, I'm 36.
No.
I'm 36.
You're 36. I'll be 35 in July.
So we're quite, well, I suppose we're middle aged. I don't know. And then this one here.
What have we got here?
So as a next Navy, do you love seeing waters? Don't you? Yeah, I do.
Yes.
The thing with the Navy, I probably wouldn't have gotten out if it was just going to sea. I used to love being on deployments, like on this ship in the ocean. I used to love it. I got to see interesting places. You just did your job.
The footage I've seen is just amazing.
Yeah.
Big swells that they used to go through in these huge ships. I don't know how he used to deal with it. But.
Yeah, it was a life-changing experience for me because I joined when I was 17. So I was still a kid when I joined. I definitely left as an adult because I learned.
You grow up.
I'd grown up so quick, and I loved the ocean. I still do. I just didn't love everything else about the Navy, which was like
I think that's why Coda makes you so happy is because you can see the ocean.
Yeah,
everywhere you go.
Our window literally looks out the ocean. I think we've shown this in a few videos. That's the window, and the sea's just there.
Yeah.
And I just sit there as I'm working. I just look out the window.
Me too. My family's always been on the ocean. We've always had boats and things like that. So we both literally catch ourselves looking out the window, just like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, just boats going past.
It just makes you happy. There was a study done a few years ago about how people react to water and the emotions that it brings. So it's quite nice.
All right. So could you tell us about the elevator incident?
Yes, we can.
Well, it was more of a prank, I suppose, than an incident. So what happened was
it was after dinner.
I always threaten the boys that like if they stay in the elevator
too long,
it will go down without them. And I was, me and Liam were feeling a bit silly, so Pauline got out of the elevator
with
Riley.
And
with Riley, and Liam and I stayed in the elevator, and we were like, aha. And then I stupidly pressed the ground button, and the doors closed before I could open it. So the elevator just started going to the ground, and I'm like, oh no, Pauline's gonna be upset. And
so with our building, you need an access card to get the elevator to go to the floor that is your card. So because I had the card on the 24th floor or 23A, Riley and I had to then hop in another elevator, wait for another elevator to come, hop in, go all the way back down to the ground to find these two standing in front of the elevator waiting for us.
Yeah.
And we talked about this with the kids. Like, if you joke around, you muck around, what do you do if the elevator goes down or it goes up? Like, what do you do? And so we had to explain to them, you need to go to the ground floor and we will come down and get you because you obviously need the card. And that's exactly what happened the next day.
Yeah, so it was annoying because it was 7:30 at night as well. It was late at night, and as soon as I pressed the ground button, I was like, "Why did I do that?"
And I saw
that was dumb.
And here's Riley going, "Mum, the doors are closed," and he's there trying to open the doors, and I'm just like, "Oh, Riley, we're gonna have to get another elevator."
So our building's got 4 elevators, so it was just a matter of them getting another one. But it was more just like,
it was funny. I had to get my camera out because it was just so funny to see their reaction when the doors opened of them just standing there.
Yeah, it was not ideal because it was late too. I shouldn't have pressed it. So what's your favorite food from Malaysia?
Bak kut teh.
Bak kut teh for Pauline. Mine is kolo mee, and drink wise, 3-layer tea and sabah tea.
TC special.
Yeah, TC special and sabah tea. I really like. What would you say the boys' favorite food is? Just noodles.
Anything with noodles or rice?
Just noodles, just basic. They don't have, takeaway food.
They're really quite happy with chicken and rice.
Yeah.
Your chicken and rice meals.
Yeah, like chicken chop.
Chicken chop or just a roasted chicken and rice.
The other thing I quite like is the butter chicken here.
Yeah, the Malaysian butter chicken is really nice.
It's not like an Indian butter chicken. It's like
evaporated
fried
milk.
chicken chop with like evaporated milk and then butter. It's really quite nice. I quite like that one as well. That's my other favorite. I mean, I've got so many favorites. So they're the ones that stand out though. How about the Malaysian weather? Can you guys handle it? What do you reckon?
We're trying. We do get very hot and sweaty.
I'm just kind of used to it, eh?
You do get used to it, but it obviously hits you in the face, like, because most of the buildings are air-conned and very cold when you're in, like, supermarkets are overly cold. And then you walk out and obviously have to reacclimatize yourself. But yeah, I think we've gotten used to it. The kids still complain about, I'm sweaty and it's hot, but they don't really like have a tantrum or get upset.
I'm just perpetually sweaty now. Like I'm just always sweating. If I go down after about 5 minutes, I just start sweating, as you would have seen in the videos. I don't care anymore. It's like I'm just kind of used to the shirt sticking to me. No, it doesn't really bother me that much anymore.
How do you guys wear jeans?
Yeah, tell us this.
Jeans and long shirts and jackets on a day that's hot.
That is the one thing I can't understand is how you guys
jeans.
Yeah, like you see a lot of people wearing jeans
and a jumper.
It's like
I don't understand. So please tell us because we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys do that. No. So I'm genuinely curious because I know it's obviously you guys live here and acclimatized to it, but you'll never see me wearing pants jeans, unless I have to. No. Even in Australia, I didn't like it. Yeah. So we did have a couple of questions on Instagram. Keep the questions coming, guys. We got a little bit more time.
And then another question for you: when you do your celebrations and you have your we saw the Hari Raya and you have your long sleeve shirts and pants, and the girls have the headdress and the very pretty outfits. They're absolutely stunning. Are they hot? Is that material hot, or is it quite a cooling material? That's what I also want to know, because they look amazing. And I love how you do, like, every family has like a color. Like I've seen like quite a few families are all in green or all in purple or all in a cream color.
that is one of the best things that I've seen about the Hari Raya. is like families have like family colors.
Family color.
So like we were thinking about this,
amazing.
our family color would be orange, and I would rep that. I don't know if
He
it's
loves orange.
I don't know if it's a disrespectful for a non-Muslim family to be wearing that stuff during Hari Raya, but if it's not, next year, if we're back in time and everything like that, is not really hot. Yeah, because it's silk. It's like silky. But I will rock that outfit as a family outfit if it's not culturally inappropriate to do so. If it's a culturally inappropriate thing to do, we won't. But I think it's incredible. Like I didn't want to be rude, right? So I didn't go take photos of people. But it's really awesome to see families dressing up in like. So for those who aren't in Malaysia, during Hari Raya, which is like the end of Ramadan, the families, they go out in the evening and have food, and they dress up in like a matching outfit. So it's not matching as in like they're wearing the same clothes. It's just like the same colors and the same materials, but they're really ornate. So like you'll see families, like there'll be a family in all in pink,
wife, kids,
all in pink,
all in the same color,
all in like light green, all in light blue, and it looks amazing. I'm so jealous. I watch it and go, I wish we could do that, but again, we don't know if it's culturally appropriate, so we didn't want to do it just in case it's like, oh, that's offensive sort of thing. So that's like we just watch from the outside in.
It looks amazing. Like you guys do such a good job.
Yeah, it's really nice to see. I like
we love the culture.
As someone outside looking in, it's like, oh, that's really really nice and really cool to see. Because you see the cutest things when you see little babies.
The kids.
Yeah, little kids, like little babies, and they're wearing like a little blue outfit or green outfit.
Yeah.
And then Muhammad's my family this year we were wearing all blue. Yeah. So is that is that like a family color?
Or is it chosen each year?
Yeah,
so
let us know that.
Let us know, is it a yearly thing that you change the colour, or is that just your family?
Yeah, it's like a family crest, like in European kind of cultures, you have like crests and things like that. So Aussie summer heat is even hotter.
We know that from a fact.
Yep.
Yeah, we lived in the country. We were inland, like 3 hours inland, and yes, we refer to it as like an oven.
Yeah, that's the best way I explain it to people that haven't been in that kind of heat before. When it's 40 degrees in Australia, because that's what it gets to. When it's like 40 degrees in Australia, like where we lived, it used to get to 46.
Opening the door is like opening an oven.
Yes, so fan force ovens, and they blow hot air over your food. It's like opening one of them, and the heat just like whoosh, it like hits you like a wave of heat.
Yeah.
Whereas here it's just like strangling, suffocating heat because it's so muggy. It's so humid.
Yeah.
That's the
but Australian, the sun just beats down, and then everything just bakes. Like your car is hot, the road is hot, everything's just hot to touch. Whereas over here, everything is humid and sweaty.
Yeah.
So it's just two different things.
Yeah, two different things. Everyone celebrates Hari Raya, including non-Muslims. Oh, cool. Yeah. So we'll explore that next year because
we definitely now know that you love fireworks.
Oh God, the fireworks.
Because we were in an area next to a park.
We're in Sarawak.
And
Kuching, next to the Grand Mosque in Sarawak.
Yeah.
And every night for
fireworks,
we were there.
Firecrackers, the mosque, like everyone was celebrating. Yeah. So we definitely know you like fireworks.
So people in Malaysia, especially Malays, sometimes don't care about being hot when it comes to dressing up. Family do wear the same color during Hari Raya. Sweater's good though.
Yeah, it is good.
It's good. It's good for the skin.
It does.
100%.
It makes your skin very nice.
Yeah, it makes your skin very clears your pores.
Yeah. As Jimmy has
psoriasis
on his elbows and knees.
You've probably seen it in the videos.
And it actually does a lot better in humidity. It doesn't get as dry as it would in summer. In Australia, it used to crack and bleed, whereas here we haven't had as many issues.
So one of the tips for wearing most tops is to wear an inner t-shirt. Good for sweat absorbance, so fancy clothes don't appear soaked. I'd have to wear two of them.
Yeah.
I'd have to wear two inner shirts because I just sweat so much. I'm just shocked when it comes to sweat. And then most Malaysians avoid covering to avoid being tanned. Like Fair and Lovely, that's the difference between Aussies and Westerners. Yeah, I noticed that. I know it's a lot of, you can't get sunscreen here without whitening bleach in it. In Australia, it's funny, this is the thing, right? Like obviously Southeast Asians want to appear to be more like Westerners. And then Australians and Westerners want a tan to be more like, Southeast Asian skin, like olive skin, and darker skin. It's the grass is always greener on the other side. That's why I keep saying about why people don't understand why we want to live in Malaysia instead of Australia. It's like the grass is greener. It's like if you've lived in Malaysia all your life, of course you look at Australia and go, that's a country I want to visit and beautiful, and why would you want to leave? But then we live in Australia. We're like, oh, I'd love to live in Asia. It's a beautiful country. It's nice and it's whatever, So like, it's just perspective. And hopefully, what I hope our channel does is just give people a different perspective, which is that. But me personally, I don't think I could put up with being as hot as you would be in jeans just to not get a tan. So, no. I just don't know. But so, hey guys, are you still in Sabah? Yes, we are. Have you guys visited Kundasan? Kundasan. Cooler weather there, and Mount Kinabalu view is amazing there. Yeah, that's where we went
past Mount Kinabalu.
Yeah. So we stopped in Tupalig. Basically, where the lookout is to Mount Kinabalu. We went to the base of Mount Kinabalu, and went to the Botanic Gardens and the gallery there. Yeah. Had a good look on our way to Dermacot. So yeah, it is cooler there. It's like 27 degrees. It's not that much cooler, but it's definitely noticeably cooler. It's a little bit more like alpine sort of ish, that feeling. It's not that it's cooler. I think it's just not as humid. Yeah.
When the breeze was blowing, it was actually cooler.
Yeah. When the breeze was blowing, it was cooler. Now we've got a couple of questions here on Instagram. Okay. We'll get through. So while that's happening, guys, if you've got any more questions, let us know. Where are you? Oh, yep. So what is the moment that you thought of that makes you want to decide on long period traveling? So what was the trigger for us to decide to go traveling long term?
I think there was a lot of triggers actually. We weren't actually happy in what we were doing. Our lives were quite mundane because it was just work, school, and we weren't actually spending a whole lot of time as a family. We were together as a family, but kind of all living separate lives because Jimmy would leave early. I'd take the kids to school. I'd then go to work, pick up the kids, and then Jimmy would be home late. Like there was just no time in the day to even do anything else. Activities in Australia were very expensive. So even on the weekends, we didn't feel like we're actually doing anything. And I think our life had just gone to a standstill, really.
It was Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day. We were doing the same thing all the time. I'm going to get a little bit deep here. Yeah. So just be aware of that. But like I may have had different, like everything Pauline's saying is true and it's part of the reason. But for me too, like I used to work big hours and, we were earning good money, but I didn't want to, life is so precious, right? Like people don't appreciate how fragile humans actually are and like how quickly in a blink of an eye, something can change. Like Pauline's dad had a stroke 11 years ago and it completely changed our family. Yeah. Healthy guy, didn't drink, didn't smoke, just had a stroke one day. Yeah. I didn't want to have something catastrophic happen to me or Pauline, and then the boys have no memory of us.
Because then in that year, last year, we also had to put Jimmy's mum into a nursing home.
Yeah, my mum got Alzheimer's, has Alzheimer's and had to go into a nursing home.
To put a 70-year-old person in a nursing home because it was not safe enough to be living by herself. Yeah.
So I didn't want the boys to have, to just not have any memories of me, especially Pauline as well, but like me especially, like if I died on the job or working, my boys' memories of me up until we started this trip would have been
leaving to go to work.
Yeah, going to work, or like very few memories of me. Yeah. So like I wanted to go on this trip so that if one of us, God forbid, was ever to pass, not only would the boys have memories of us together as a family, the four of us, and like good, solid memories, different experiences, different that kind of stuff.
We always refer back to the movie Inside Out.
Yeah, core memories.
Core memories. If you haven't watched Inside Out, it's a very good movie about memories. Just
quickly, Diego, we're just talking about the reason we're traveling. Yeah. It's the reason we decided to do this trip. So like now, like after, like even now, but like even after a year, like I take a lot of comfort in the fact that through our videos, through them just spending a lot of time with us, you know, even if I'm not here, I'm going to be able to give them the guidance that they need to turn into healthy adults that are
well-rounded humans.
Yeah, well-rounded humans. You know, like you get into this trap, and I'm not that I'm old, I'm only 36, right? But like you get into this trap of work and money becoming the most important thing, and money is incredibly important. Like obviously, without money, we wouldn't be able to do this trip. But you get to this point in your life where it's like actually you've invested so much into earning money that everything else suffers. And that's where we got to. It's like we're working so hard to make money that all other aspects of our life were suffering, including our relationship with our children. So, you know, I
think our relationship suffered a little bit.
Yeah. Like we always love each other and stuff. But like actually, you know, just like when you get home at 5 o'clock at night and you spend 3 hours a day together, you know, something's got to give, right?
However, we were working in the same office. Like we were literally working in the same spot, but that wasn't the same.
No.
So
like I just think why we decided to do this trip is just like the business was getting busier and busier. I actually think I went through a midlife crisis personally, but it got busier and busier, and I just said to Pauline, like, why are we working this hard when we've got enough money?
Yeah.
Why are we working this hard when really we should be investing in experiences?
Yeah.
Because what's the point of me dying from a heart attack and leaving you guys a heap of money if we can't share it? Like,
can't share it together.
Can't share it together. So that was the sort of thought process. And then we just spent the last 8 months working towards that. And then in February we made the made the big decision. Because the thing is, you know, and this is why I encouraged everyone to get familiar with the digital landscape and learning and earning money digitally, is that we'll always be able to earn money. You know, like and people don't give themselves enough credit for this. When you're backed into a corner, so there's this philosophy that everyone has an internal money thermometer. So, you know, every single person on the planet has a level of income and a level of savings and everything that they're comfortable with. And generally what happens is that if you go over that, you kind of do everything subconsciously to get yourself back to that. But if you go under that level, you do everything you possibly can to get to that level. And that's why you see people that win the lottery that haven't got the financial IQ, they go and waste it all and get back to where they were.
Yeah.
Because you can be, if you're financial literacy and you're comfortable here and you earn all this money here, then it makes you uncomfortable. So like learning how to make money digitally and learning how to make different streams of income just slowly increases that thermometer. And now we're at the point where I feel like it wouldn't matter what we did, we would be able to make money doing it. And so like, I'm comfortable spending a year traveling around, because when we hit the ground again, when we're back to trying to make more money, we're going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I'd say, guys. Like this trip has been life-changing for us in the fact that like we are spending, even though we're still working on computers and doing that, we're spending genuine time together.
Yeah.
You know, as a family, 24 hours a day, without, you know, and just relying on ourselves as a family unit and not relying on others.
We've seen a huge change in our kids. I think we said it in the last live. Riley, our youngest, was always wanting me, never wanted Jimmy for anything, let alone, you know, couldn't take a bottle of water from Jimmy. It was always from me, wanted a hug from me 24/7. Now he actually comes to Jimmy and will give him a hug, and just spontaneously, because it's just changed him. He doesn't need me. There are two of us, but because he'd only seen me constantly and Jimmy was at work, there was just that missing.
Yeah, and it made me sad, because it's like I played with them all the same.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't favor one of them.
Yeah.
And that to me is worth more than any money on the planet.
It's huge.
You know, I now have two boys that want to spend time with me, not just one. So like that's all I say, guys, you know, with this traveling.
And then finally having Riley then wanting Jimmy, I can actually spend time with Liam, because I felt that Liam was getting left out because I'd always have to look after Riley. So Liam would have to go to Jimmy. And then I felt bad because I wasn't spending that quality time with Liam because he never asked.
No.
He actually brought it up to us the other day, didn't he? That
Yeah.
he felt left out because Riley was always so needy. So, yeah, it was actually amazing to see that our kids have changed.
Yeah, and it's for the better, and that's why this trip was so worth it.
Yeah.
So let's move on from that because obviously it's it's pretty deep.
Meaningful right then.
But I hope you guys have an exciting, wonderful stay in Malaysia. Don't hesitate to ask locals for help and information.
We
Please
always
don't. We always do, and everyone has been so accommodating. Everyone loves answering the questions that we have.
Our security guard at this building even helped me answer the phone for a Grab driver the other day because my Grab driver couldn't speak a word of English, had no idea where to pick me up from. My security guard actually took the phone and talked to him for me. So
Diego, great, thanks. That's true. We lose years of low quality life for wins, some more years of quality life. Yeah, to win some more years of quality life. Yeah, it's like, there's so many people we're seeing traveling now that are in their 60s and things like that. And they say to us, they wish they'd traveled like this earlier because when you're in your 60s, you can't do a lot of this. You can't just spend 5 days in the jungle.
You can't go caving.
You can't go caving. You can only do that when you're physically able to. So they say that it's like, oh, it's so good that you're doing this with the kids. They're going to remember this forever and it's going to be an amazing experience for them. And there's a lot of old people that just regret, there's a lot of old millionaires out there that would give all that money up to be able to do this actively. Yeah. Instead of having to do a cruise and be carried around and, having to, we walked 4 kilometers yesterday through the jungle. It's like, you can't, there's a physical age limit to that, a lot of the time. So, I think. Did
you have any more questions on Instagram or was that the only one?
No, we got one more, but I'll answer Diego's question and then come back because it's So Diego has asked, what kind of digital products, things do you sell? So we have a digital marketing agency, My Online Guy. So we used to do my background is SEO. I see you do SEO as well. My background is SEO, but we downsized the agency. We got to 14 staff at its peak in Australia,
and we were doing everything you could possibly think
of. We were full service
agency.
But we downsized it somewhat to be able to do this trip because it was just too much logistically to manage. So there's only 4 of us now. But now we mainly do Google Ads. That's predominantly what we do, and a bit of website maintenance and stuff.
And then we have blogs.
Yeah, we do content. We have content marketing blogs, affiliate sites. Yeah. Then we have some bits and pieces. I'm currently working on a course, which is nothing to do with traveling. It's to do with helping small businesses do their marketing. So
in my spare time, I do digital downloads as well,
like on Etsy,
and stuff like that. We really just diversify in everything possible. If you've got a spare half an hour to an hour, there's always something that you could be doing, like
to improve your quality of life,
your passive income. Yeah. Like it really doesn't take a whole lot. YouTube videos are there for everything at the moment. So
that's
side hustles.
There's no secret. There's no secret to. We're not just for curiosity's sake, we got to 7 figures with the agency, which is a badge that not a lot of agencies get to. I don't know that much more about SEO and marketing and digital marketing than anyone else. I just watched a lot more YouTube and learnt a lot more, I think. So everything that you need to take your income digitally is online. That's what I'll say to people is don't be afraid to roll up your sleeves and tackle something that's foreign to you, because 10 years ago, I was a mechanical fitter. I am someone that pulls apart pumps and puts pumps back together, puts new seals in them and things like hydraulics. That's what I did in the Navy. Left the Navy, then moved into agriculture and started selling machinery. Digital stuff was not part of that in any way. And
I did reception and administration work. Yes, I knew my way around a computer and how to do, Word documents and serve customers and stuff like that.
And then about 7 years ago now, started getting into the learning, because I've always had an interest in it, but I took it more seriously, started learning it, started building out the blog sites.
Bought a few small businesses along the way and dabbled in that kind of stuff and learned a lot through trial and error.
And then we started taking clients on and the rest is sort of history. So what I was getting at is we transitioned from a completely brick and mortar working 9 to 5 with in a business to running our own digital companies in just from YouTube, basically. So if we can do that, we're not
a few courses here.
Yeah, courses here and there, but what I'm getting at is like we're not smarter than anyone else. We're just maybe was able to connect the dots quicker than others. But yeah, everything is there online. You just got to know where to look for it. So if anyone's curious about that, ping us, because I we do know a lot about making that transition from brick and mortar to digital. Yeah, 100% is possible.
Definitely possible.
100% is possible. We're living proof of it. We went from having an agency that had no clients to having an agency with that was doing 7 figures.
Yeah.
And that was in the space of less than 3 years.
Yeah.
So if we can do it, anyone can.
And I'm just amazed at the digital world now. Like I watched quite a few content creators on all different platforms, and it's amazing how they've built their following and now earn money from it, and are very satisfied that they have a part-time job and this content creator, because they did not think that was even possible, and now the world is digital, and if there's something small that you can be doing, just learn it.
And that's the biggest secret, is like, don't swing for the fences with this stuff. Just make $100 at a time doing different things. If you
start with something small.
If you have 10 income streams all doing $100 a month, next thing you have $1,000 a month. It all adds up, and that's always been our secret. So because I earned lots of money just by selling Google reviews organically on Facebook with a few spammy posting groups. Yeah, look, it doesn't. I respect the grind, man.
Yeah.
I don't care what you're doing. I respect the grind. So like, if you can make a good living doing that, man, like,
go for it.
That's we've done Google reviews with people too. It's like, I know some people get funny about that stuff, but like, I respect the hustle, man. Like if you hit the pavement, it doesn't matter what you're.
There is always a hustle to be had.
Yeah, and the most difficult thing is to be stable. That is true.
Yeah.
It's hard, even with an agency with our size, it was always hand to mouth, even though we were doing big numbers. It was like the thing.
Because we relied on our customers to pay our bills.
Yeah.
And if our customers didn't pay our bills, we didn't pay our bills.
So that's the biggest transition we're making now. Like, we're still doing it, is we want to be our own customers for our own agency.
Yeah.
So we want to get away from dealing with clients to just being our own client. So my online guy will just be an internal agency for the stuff that we do.
Yeah.
And that's where we're transitioning to now. Obviously, it takes time, but that's what we're transitioning to now. That's our plan for the next sort of 12 months. Yeah. So we've got another question here on Insta.
Okey-dokey.
Couple.
I want to switch to advertising. I'm not happy with selling reviews.
Yeah,
just do it.
Advertising is good because it's high cash flow. Selling reviews is very project based. Yeah. It's hard to get continuous retainers with that stuff. Whereas advertising, it's quite easy to get continuous retainers. The more retainers you get, the more consistency you can get in your cash flow, the better decisions you can make. So switching to sort of an advertising model is a smart move. And then you can, because you got the reviews, upsell. That's your value add as you do this stuff.
Yeah.
So the question is, given the choice and setting aside know-how, would you guys cook Asian or Western dishes? Would you prefer to cook Asian or Western dishes?
I would prefer to cook Asian dishes, just because they're so flavorful. Like, I find Western dishes are really a bit hard to get some flavor in sometimes. Like, I'm a very basic cook. Like, I can cook all sorts of things, but I would love to know how to cook Asian food, because you always seem to get so much flavor into it.
Yeah.
And it is just not a skill that we are taught as Westerners. We go off recipes, we go off handed down information from parents and that kind of stuff. Like, we grow up on basic things, meat and 3 veg, lasagna, beef casseroles, roast meals, that kind of stuff. Whereas here, there's just such an array of flavors that we just can't seem to replicate. So, yeah, if anyone wants to share some recipes with me, that would be amazing.
I agree. I think, look, there's some Western meals that are lovely. There's some Asian meals that are lovely. But what I think where Asian meals sort of get the win, in my opinion, is the diversity of the type of food. It's like, there's so many, you can't believe the different ways you can cook something until you come to Asia and see the same chicken cooked 7 different ways. You know, like that's what I like about Asian cuisine is there's so much variety in the food, even though it's basic ingredients.
Yeah.
A lot of the meals here I would say are not as complex as European style cooking and Western food. They're probably not as complex.
Yeah.
But you don't, if it's not complex, then you have to make up for that some way. And a lot of time that's with flavor. So like the meals here are way more flavorful. Yeah. There's more diversity, and they can just do more with less, which I think's awesome. So we have one more question on Instagram, and then if there's no more questions, we might end this.
And then I want to ask another question as well. With your dishes, why are a lot of dishes not served with vegetables? So like if say we were going, or if we were going to cook in Australia or we were going out to a restaurant, a lot of meals come with...
Sandy, how are you? Jimmy,
hello.
Thanks for tuning in.
Come with salad, or they come with quite a bit of vegetables kind of thing. Whereas here, when you order chicken and rice, it's literally just chicken and rice. Like you have to, that vendor then doesn't normally sell anything other than chicken and rice. So there's just no vegetable intake in a main meal. So how do you get your vegetable intake in a main meal, and why aren't vegetables served in a main meal? Are they too expensive? Like, is it just not a thing?
We'd love to know that.
We'd love to know.
We're not seeing many vegetables, guys. I don't know what it is, but in Australia, we just load the vegetables up.
Yeah, there's always veggies.
So Diego's, thank you guys. We'll follow you. Have to go.
All right.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Loved all your questions, Diego. Thank you.
And keep chasing that digital money. Like the Wi-Fi, I hate saying it, but that Wi-Fi money is legit. And we're not selling anything here, but like we have sustained an income for several years now using digital assets and digital services. And trust me when I say I'm just a mechanical fitter, from the bush. Pauline's just like an admin. Like we don't have any special skills, but what we have an ability to learn, and that's really important, right? So try something new. Sandy and Jimmy, if you guys like us, you're gonna love Sandy and Jimmy and trying something new. They've been through Asia. They've done all these trips. They're now traveling around an RV in the US. So we watch them. So we like them. We know you guys are going to love them. So happy to see you guys hit 5K. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support as well.
Amazing.
It means a lot. And you guys are a big part of us hitting that. The digital game.
You've got to be in it. Like,
you've got to be
really
in it.
have
You
to
do.
be in it.
And I keep stressing this to people because it's really important. And I feel like a preacher sometimes, but like if the whole reason I transitioned, because I was earning very good money as a branch manager of an agricultural dealership, like mid six figures. Like we were earning incredible money for what I did.
However, we thought we had no money for some reason.
Yeah.
Like,
but the reason we transitioned into doing digital marketing and then into all the other stuff that we've got is because it's so easy to become obsolete in a role just through the movement of technology. Like from the people that fix typewriters, if they didn't learn how to fix computers or they didn't do something else, they don't have jobs.
That's it. Your job's gone.
Your job's gone. And now with AI, this is why it's important more than ever. This is like there is now a clock that is ticking down to zero, and that is AI. Almost all of our jobs are going to be replaced by AI. A big chunk of our jobs are going to be replaced by AI. Yeah. So if you don't learn how to rejig your skill sets and learn how to do that, it doesn't matter if you move into digital stuff. So like from just being like, let's say a receptionist to doing digital stuff, we've learned the ability to rejig our skill sets. Yeah. So as AI moves into marketing and makes digital marketing obsolete, we have the skills and ability to look for the opportunities and rejig our skill set to go, okay, well, the next thing that we need to be able to do is this. Part of the reason we moved into content is because it's going to be a lot harder for AI to replicate that. Personality is a very unique human trait. But, I already see it in digital marketing. A lot of what we do will be redundant in like 3 or 4 years. So if you don't have the ability to see that and go, actually, you got two options. Either put your head in the sand or pull your bootstraps up and actually go, I need to learn some new skills so that I'm still marketable. You're going to get left behind. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're going to get left behind and you're going to be sitting there one day going, why am I being made redundant? And why is the computer now doing my job? Yeah. It's like that is how groundbreaking changing this AI is. It can do a lot of stuff that humans can do. It just doesn't have arms and legs.
Yeah.
Once they work out how to put arms and legs on this thing, there's going to be a lot of roles that are going to be made obsolete.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a lot of friends in tech, and they tell me that the kinds of things that it's doing now and what it can do in the future, and it's just unreal. So you really need to make sure that you do that. And then we've got Mohammed. I think Malaysians don't like vegetables.
Really?
Come on, guys, eat your vegetables.
Eat veggies. Like, they're so nice.
Yeah, but it might be harder to grow here too.
Yeah, that's true. We get a lot of like our staple vegetables who are potatoes, broccoli, cauliflower, carrot, onions, and you know, Australians love mashed potato. We've got a mashed potato and a baked potato. And then I don't know. I just really like vegetables. That's just me. So.
Yeah, I quite like vegetables too. I didn't think I'd ever say this in my life, but I kind of miss vegetables.
Just steamed veggies.
Yep.
Like, doesn't have to have a sauce on it. Just steamed broccoli and carrot and peas. I'd be done.
And then trying something new. You guys are doing great. Thank you so much. It means a lot to us. You know, it is nice to hit 5,000 subscribers. A bit of validation for all this effort we're going into. But yeah, hopefully we can get to 600,000 like you guys. Veggies always have been a home dish, and I think unless the seller has it for sides, and nuts always comes with a lot of veggie dish. Yeah, that's what we found. Is like, so in Australia, when you order a meal, generally it will come with vegetables. So like if you order a steak, say for instance, it will come with vegetables.
It's either mash and veg or chips and salad.
Yeah.
That's your staple in Australia.
Yeah, pretty much everything comes with either vegetables or salad.
Yeah.
And that's what we notice here is like there's a lot, like you'll have a thing of noodles, like, you know, mee goreng, say for instance, but there'll be like, there is vegetables in it. We understand.
There's tiny bits of greenery.
But like, there's like no broccoli. There's no like
carrot,
substantial vegetables in it. And we're just not used to eating like that because we've grown up. You know, so like a standard Australian meal might be like a piece of steak or a piece of pork or something like that. Maybe some mashed potato
or baked potato.
And then like cauliflower, broccoli, peas, and corn.
Yeah.
That's a
staple.
Well, like put it this way, we would eat broccoli, cauliflower, peas, and corn 4 times a week.
And carrots.
Like 4 times a week at home.
Because they were cheap and easy to make, and everyone loved them. So yeah, but I think it's also drilled into Australians this the healthy food pyramid, because you get taught it at school and all this kind of stuff. So it was like, what's the campaign of two fruit, 5 veg a day?
Yep.
That's the campaign in Australia. You have to eat 2 fruits and 5 veggies in a day. So when are you going to get them in? You have to get them in at lunch and dinner. Yeah.
So you know, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, guys. So like a traditional Australian lunch.
You don't get veg on a chicken palmy. You do on the sides.
Yeah, the sides. That's where the chips come in. But yeah, so like a traditional kids' lunch in Australia would be a sandwich, with like a salami or something like that in there.
Some kind of meat and cheese.
So cheese and salami.
Yeah.
Generally some like carrots.
So I think it was West Australian schools. I'm not sure if the whole of Australia do it, but West Australian schools actually brought in a program called Crunch and Sip. And it is where the kids have to bring in either a piece of fruit or a container of veggies. Now, the piece of fruit can be cut, it can be uncut, as long as it's not messy. So it couldn't be like an orange or something, pineapple, something juicy, but apples, pears. Our kids loved cut up carrot, broccoli, snow peas, cucumber, that kind of stuff. So you always have to have this crunch and sip container that had a piece of fruit or a serve of veggies in it. And then obviously there has to be another serve of that fruit or vegetable in their lunchbox as well. So it's crunch and sip for the morning. Then lunch is a sandwich, maybe something baked like a muffin or a cookie, something, but it had to be healthy because you always get the stare down from the teachers sometimes. Sorry, teachers out there, but I totally understand the sugar levels. I do. Something baked, something else to snack on, like a cracker, like nothing really salty or flavored, normally just some kind of cracker, or I know our kids like Crustkits with Vegemite on. Another piece of fruit or veg, and that was a staple. Like that was lunch. You had to have these 2 fruit or 2 veggies or a fruit and a veggie in your kids'
Yeah,
day.
it's a lot more culturally acceptable to just give kids raw vegetables in Australia too. I think over here it's not as you don't just give a kid a raw carrot here in Malaysia. Whereas in Australia we do that all the time.
I have to tell you a story. When Liam was younger, all he wanted was raw vegetables. So we would go to what they called the veggie truck, because we lived in a small country town and we had a gentleman that would turn up with a refrigerated truck and sell his fruit and vegetables out of it. I would take Liam and Riley as young kids. We'd walk down there or we'd take the car, and they would hop in the truck with me while we got all of our stuff. And Liam would always go and ask him and say, "Can I please have a mushroom?" He would eat a raw mushroom while we were walking around the truck. He would then, if he hopped in the pram or back in the car, he would ask for something else, and it would normally be, I would pass him a capsicum, and he would start eating the capsicum. Or I would pass him a section of broccoli, straight off the broccoli, just straight in the back, just eat whatever. Whereas Riley was quite happy to have an apple or whatever he wanted, but this kid was vegetables.
He loved them.
Vegetables, raw vegetables.
Still loves them. So next question, because we can talk about
we could talk about that forever.
So how was your experience in Malaysia? We're still in Malaysia, but how was your experience in Malaysia being compared to Australia? It's a good question. Australia and Malaysia aren't that much different.
Not really.
Yes, obviously location-wise, and it's hotter here, and geography and things like that. But it's Malaysia is a lot more Western than people give it credit for. Yeah. We've been to Philippines, we've been to Thailand and Laos and all that. Malaysia is one of the more developed Southeast Asian countries out there. So I prefer Malaysia over Australia. I'm very clear about that. And sorry to anyone in Australia that's watching this, but I'm very clear about that. And the reason for that is people are just friendlier here. People the people make the country, and Australians are friendly. Australians are great, blah, 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 blah. But people make the country, and Malaysians are some of the best people we've met. So, I think the people here make it an interesting place to live, and the food's good too, which helps. Yeah. And there's a lot to see and do. In Australia, everything's on the coast because it's so hot. So there's actually not that much to see in Australia. Once you leave the cities and you go further north in Australia, it turns into desert pretty much. Yeah,
it's really just you're staying on the coast to experience the beaches and the coral reefs and the wildlife and stuff like that. You go inland and there's a lot of red dirt.
Whereas here, right, a good example, we're in Kota Kinabalu. You can literally drive 30 minutes and you're hitting villages that are years old. And there's 30 different ethnic groups. So you can drive around and there's a village that's been there for 300 years. Yeah. You stop and have a look, and there's a suspension bridge, and there's oxen just in the river. There's an old bridge, there's a little market. It's not like that in Australia. You leave the city, it's 30, 50 kilometers between everything. And in the middle, there's nothing. Whereas here, when we drove out to Kilu, there was villages, there was a suspension bridge, there was
market stalls everywhere.
Yeah, it's just all this interesting stuff to see everywhere. And that might be just because we are Australian coming to this country, but it's not like that in Western countries. So I think and everyone's happy to show you what they've got, and happy to, we went and had lunch in this person's house, and they were just happy to have us there. And so I think that's why. I think that's the biggest difference between them, is that there's just more to see and do, more, and it's more diverse things to see and do. So you mentioned that Malaysian food being more flavorful, veggies would take away from all that.
No, they wouldn't. They would not. Veggies absorb flavor.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just like vegetables.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. So got to what's this one say? Go search for pasar. So pasar is market,
isn't
market,
it?
Tanai, or pasar pagi,
which means morning.
To find fresh produce early in the mornings. Yeah, we're always open to going to new markets. We love it's for those who don't know, the markets are the single best way to see an actual country. nothing to hide in markets. So like you can make the center, you can make KLCC beautiful and a really beautiful place to live, but a market's a market. You know, it's going to be wet, it's going to be dirty, and it's going to be all that.
Yeah.
So you can't hide anything in a market. That's why I love them so much. You know, the markets are a real representation of what the country is. Yeah. And you know, the Malaysian markets, there's live animals. You know, it's like just like every other market in Southeast Asia. So yeah, definitely. And then while you're in Sabah, Pasar Tamu. Hope you find something good. Thank you so much. We're going to finish up now.
Yeah, all of our stuff's like running out of battery.
Yeah, it's all getting killed. All our stuff is dying. I had to put the phone on charge. The light's gone out. We'll answer this one question, and then we'll finish for the night. So our road system, the federal ones, are developed on an ancient path connecting villages and towns. That's why you see settlements along the way.
We've seen that. Yeah.
We've seen that, and that's what's missing in Australia. Like people don't realize that the oldest European thing in Australia is like 250, 300 years old. That's like the oldest thing. Like the settlements in Sydney, like the old penal settlements, they're only 300 years old. There's villages that have been in the same spot here for 300 years. Just little shanties, like little towns. You know, there's things that have been in the same, there's families that have lived in the same spot in Malaysia for thousands of years. And you just, as a country, Australia's a new country, you just can't comprehend that kind of age. So we look at an old building in Australia, oh, that's a really old building. But it's an old,
like 100 years old.
Yeah, it's only like 100, 200 years old. There's buildings in the village that we into that are like 300. I'm sure they looked 300 years old. I don't know if they were, but they looked 300 years old. And you just don't get that in Australia. No. And so like, that's what I really like is like, you can walk, like you said, you drive along and there's just a random scattering of buildings, like 10 buildings. And that's a village, and there's 200 people living in it.
And we just love that you still have all of your traditional, like
outfits.
the clothing, the outfits, the patterns, your ethnic groups. Like you embrace it. You embrace it so much, and that's what we love.
Yeah. So there's definitely that's definitely something we've noticed. The newly developed highways are a different story. Yeah. There's definitely like a class difference between the highways. We've definitely noticed that. Guys, great live, guys. See you. Always been fun. This was great. And thank you for the 20 or so people that hung around for the whole thing. It means a lot to us. You know, like we're giving a couple of hours of our night for this. But we love it. We love interacting. We genuinely, I don't know what about the YouTubers are like, but we genuinely love interacting with you guys because, you know, we are guests in your country. And the more we learn about the culture and the things we can and can't do, the more we can enjoy it. Yeah. And so we love you guys coming in here and telling us all about what's good, what's not, you know, and we love teaching you about Australia too. Like we love Australia. It's not like we came here because we hate Australia. It's just, you know, we probably take Australia for granted. And, you know, the same way sometimes Malaysians take Malaysia for granted. It's just, you know, you get used to the place you're in. So
it's nice to also ask you questions and get the answers.
Yeah. We've been wondering about the vegetable thing for ages.
We're like, veggies, where are they?
And even the dresses, the Hari Raya stuff. We've been wondering about that stuff for ages. So it gives us an outlet to ask you guys questions as well. And but we're going to finish up. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. It means a lot to us. And we'll catch you all next week. We'll do this probably the same time next week. Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. And have a good one. See you later.